Stephen A., here's the real question, though. After that interview, are you ready to trust the process?
No, I'm never going to trust the process because as I just finished explaining to Joel Embiid, the process was never about the players. It has nothing to do with them. I think Joel Embiid is going to be a superstar in this league. I think Ben Simmons is going to be a superstar in this league. My problem, and I've been adamantly against it, and I always will, and I will never, ever waver on this position. There is no African American that I have ever seen in the history of professional sports in this nation that was ever given a job with the license to lose on purpose and still maintain job security. If it were not for the commissioner himself, Adam Silver, intervening and ultimately facilitating the arrival of Jerry Colangelo, the Philadelphia 76ers would have lost for at least an additional year. I am a person who has received phone calls from the president of the Coaches Association and officials under him within the Coaches Association, abhorring and lamenting the state of affairs that Brett Brown, the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, was being subjected to. They considered it criminal. Greg Popovich came on the record, which is something he would never do, to lament the state of affairs that was going on with another organization. This is when he came in here more than a year and a half ago, and his team blew out the Philadelphia 76ers because his former assistant wasn't given talent or was denied talent on purpose because of that process. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and every player on this team are damn good players who will be great. But that process was a disgrace, and I will never change my mind on that.
You're totally wrong about this. First of all, they don't have Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons if there is no process. You want to be at the top or you want to be at the bottom. The middle is no place to be because you're stuck there. Now, is there an even better way to do the process? Yes, look at the Celtics. Look at what Danny Ainge did. I'm not claiming that there's not an even better way, but there's also a much worse way.
And that's all that matters.
And a lot of No, just because you're not doing the best job out of all 30 teams does not mean you're in the bottom half. They're way toward the top half. They're way toward the top quarter or in the top 20, 25, maybe higher than that percentile in terms of how to run your organization. They're not as good as Popovich. They're not as good as Ainge, but they're better than most. Your argument against it, Stephen A., seems to be primarily a misplaced social justice argument. Yes, it is true, African-American GM, you can't find one in history who's been able to do this. It ain't misplaced. Right? They wouldn't keep. No, it is. Because just because that's the case doesn't mean we should extend that to all GMs. Why? Because one group is discriminated against and not allowed to do their jobs, in your opinion, and not allowed to have all options open to them. We should therefore close off options to all groups? No, we should open up all options to all groups. If you think this is a bad idea, the process, I suppose you think the Houston Astros had a bad idea because they did the exact same thing. Tanked for 5 years to stockpile talent and then won the World Series. And ask Houston Astros fans how they feel about it. No Joel Embiid, no Ben Simmons without the process. Getting rid of Hinkie and bringing in Colangelo was a stupid idea. Colangelo's not nearly as good as Hinkie. The problem with the process is they didn't trust it long enough. Not that there is a process at all. Maybe Hinkie ultimately wouldn't have been the guy you had to bring someone in to get better, but not Colangelo, who's demonstrably worse.